So I'm making a video today showing how I constructed my 10 by 12 Harbor Freight greenhouse. First thing I did was I tried to level the site as best as possible. I then installed the corner 4x4 posts is what I used. I've seen other guys use 2x4s and 2x6. Everything in mine is pressure treated. I'm not sure if it's necessary or not, but I just wanted to have something that'd be more waterproof. Longevity is what I was thinking. I did my research, found out that pressure treated wood has changed and it is now safe to be around food products. Anyway. So we've installed our corner post, and then what I did is I installed a base plate going all the way around with 4x4s. From there, I built the Harbor Freight steel frame, and I went up on the sidewalls. Once I knew what the height of my structure was going to be based on the sidewalls, that's when I made the beams going across the top on all four sides. In the corners, I did a half lap joint, just so that way everything would sit as flush as possible. And then I constructed my roof. Once my roof went up, I was able to find out what my angle was in here. From there, I used, again, 4x4s going up and down. And then I did a temporary brace going up to hold the ridge beam. And then I just did 4x4s going up to that. And I just kind of filled in the blanks here with the fan. I've since installed the light. One thing I do need to do is I feel like I need more bracing here on the side. I think I'm going to use like a 2x4 and just run it on the horizontal. I don't think I need much, but I think I need some. My shelving, this is kind of unique. What I end up doing for my shelving is 2x4 structure that is built to the 4x4 frame, and then actually the poly panels are screwed into the 2x4 structure, and then the leftover extruded aluminum from the Harbor Freight greenhouse, I ended up using that to hold the hardware cloth down, and it makes for a pretty nice shelf. Everything can pass through. Water, right now I don't have any trays underneath my flats. So everything could drip down through. I figured it would help with airflow, help with water. I am planning on doing irrigation mounted up underneath each shelf, some sort of a fogger or mister. I'm still working on that. I ended up using PEX to heat my shelving. You can see here, it's just 1/2 inch PEX. And I'm going to use an electric hot water heater to heat everything. I'm not planning on using this year round, but just to get through the tail season. Get me a little bit earlier seeding and possibly growing some smaller stuff later into the fall. What else can I tell you? I have installed the brick pavers. And I did put 2 inches of foam down underneath them, and then the pavers, it has helped. These pavers stay warm longer throughout the night now. What my plan is, because my shelving is open and I want water to be able to drain out of here as well, is I'm going to leave it open underneath the shelving like you see where the sand is. However, I'm going to bring in stone. We have a whole bunch of field stone that's about the size of a softball. And I'm just going to load it up with stone in here, and that will help to hold the heat. Other things that I've done, I have a Crosse alerts thermometer. This thing is awesome because it has an app for my phone. Lets me know temperature alert ranges. I think it goes well below 0, and then it goes up to 130, 140. It goes that high. I use it for my outdoor wood boiler as well. It's not quite good enough for an outdoor wood boiler, but if you put on the return line, it actually works pretty good for that. This isn't hooked up yet. I just wired it in yesterday, but I'm still working on a sub panel down in my basement of the house. But this is a automatic controlled fan. So this fan is rated for 512 CFMs, or I might have it wrong. It's rated for 512 square feet. It's 120 square feet in here. That's what it was. But the fan, holy cow, that thing, you can actually, when it's on full at 10, It's 1 through 10 for the levels. At 10, this fan actually, you can see the panels almost come in, like there's lower pressure inside the greenhouse. So it's too much fan. However, it is adjustable 1 through 10. I usually leave it between 3 and 4 so far, and it's been working fantastic. Other things that I've got going on is an Orbit's timer. I just, honestly, I had this laying around because we are also installing a commercial apple orchard, and it's between me and a business partner that is off premises, and he wants to be able to see what's going on with irrigation, so we bought these, and I had an extra one that I bought. This will do up to 12 stations. I'm planning on just doing one station in here, meaning one zone. For now, we'll see how that works. They tie together with automatic flow control valves. Orbit is what I've got here. I've been buying everything either on Amazon or Drip Depot. So that's how that's going to work for irrigation. Just normal light switch. That's just a junction box for tying this in. Instead of having it on a plug, I hardwired it into the electrical, which goes up. There's an outlet here. I've got that set up so that way if I wanted to add in fans just for moving the air around, I can. I use the LED light strip. It's an 8-foot light. That's on a separate circuit. And then back to the outlet circuit for, again, fans over here if necessary, plus the fan over here is on that circuit. Last electrical issue is, if you can see it in the dark, there's a GFI box that's out there, so everything out in the barn or out in the greenhouse is on a GFI circuit, and that's going to help with water issues if I had any. The 55-gallon barrel drums, originally I was going to heat them using the electric hot water heater. For now, I'm not going to. I'm just going to see if thermal mass will be enough to keep everything going out here. I did run irrigation, black poly irrigation lines out here. The poly irrigation lines, I've got 2 of them. I wanted to be able to run hot water out here. Actually, the reason for it is just so I can wash my hands. I hate washing my hands in cold water. It starts to hurt with arthritis and stuff like that. And figure longevity, I'm going to be out here longer than I probably ever thought I would, so do that. Back to the greenhouse and build. I did do the aluminum foil tape on the edges. I don't know if it's going to be necessary or not. To be honest, I don't know if the panels are going to last long enough for that to be worth its time. It's a real pain in the ass. I think really, if I were to do this again, and how I've done this is, and I still need to, is I'm going to come in and caulk on every seam, top and bottom sides, and I think that would do the same job as the aluminum foil tape for top and bottom. Another thing that you'll see that I've done, instead of using the clips, I've gone ahead and just used barn screws and screwed through the poly, through the aluminum, right into my frame. And this thing, I'm actually going to try to push on this. Like, it is rock solid. It's not blowing around. It's not moving anywhere. The frame, I'm not worried about at all. We had decent wind in here yesterday, maybe 20-mile-an-hour gusts, and you still see the poly panels moving around. Honestly, I'm not happy with that, but right now that's best I can do. I just want to get growing at this point. This is the back side of the greenhouse. I wanted to face the greenhouse towards the garden. I thought it'd be easier to get things in and out. It's a complete mess over here. We're just starting operations. And this is going to be a family garden for now. I'm thinking about getting into market gardening, but we'll see what happens here for economics and things like that, and just go from there. Last thing I wanted to show you is when I guess since we're over here, these telephone poles that I got from the utility company, I've sunk them in the ground. My plan is to take my 55-gallon drums, rotate them horizontally with a bar going across. These will be 3 separate compost tumblers. We actually have a lot of greens that come from the house out here, so I wanted to keep 3 going. one that's ready, one that's in the middle of being compost, and then the last one, which will be fresh. And just be able to rotate through those 3. This little corner behind the greenhouse, the plan with this is to make a wash station for vegetables, for cleaning yourself up before you go in the house. So that's where that hot water comes in. Wanted it in the greenhouse so that way I could use it in there. I could also use it out here. I'm planning on probably piping it through the gray base of the greenhouse itself. Then the last thing is I had trenched from the greenhouse the poly irrigation pipe, the electrical, and actually a big O drain tile pipe. The big O is right here, and that is just a floor drain that I tied in, which actually ties into my gutter system, which will actually flow all the way out to the apple orchard to the north of us. Excuse all of the garbage that's out here right now. But this is what I wanted to show, is just tying into the house. I just added an electrical service here that has 3 circuits. The 220 for the hot water heater. I used 14-2 wire for the lighting, and then I used 12-2 wire for the outlets that are going to be out there. Hot and cold black poly pipe. I still have to figure out how I'm going to tie those nicely into the hose bibs, and then I just added those 2 hose spigots there. One's going to be hot, one's going to be cold, and I got to figure out changing the handle, or I would like to find a blue and a red handle. If you got any other questions, feel free to ask. I'm trying to keep updated with everything that's going on. Today I didn't get a ton done with this because I was helping with planting trees and actually putting a clothesline up for the wife. But this is an ongoing project here for a little bit. I'm hoping to be done midweek with everything with heat so I can start seeding, because I'm getting behind on seeding. Kind of give you an idea of the clothesline. This is a clothesline system. We had it last year, but I never put the post in concrete and started to fall over, and I figured it's a good time now to get in here and redo this. So I just sunk this one in with concrete, and this one here, which is tied into all my fencing, and we got support braces up. Those will all come down. This is all gonna get cleaned up, but mid-project, this is what it looks like. If you got anything else, give a holler. Talk to you then.